We tend to think of life as a ladder of progress, but really it's more like a bush. Lots of critters have been around for a long time, just kind of hanging out in their own little niches, not really changing much at all. That means there are tons of creatures who have cheated death, who have been around so long that they've seen every other species around them come and go. They're called living fossils. And today we're going to meet a few of the most famous ones. First up is the king of the living fossils, the one and only Tully monster. Okay, maybe that's not its real name. It's actually the nickname of a real animal called a coelacanth. The name comes from the Greek word koilos, meaning hollow, and anthus, meaning flower, because the fish's head kind of looks like a flower bud. But no one's sure exactly what this critter was doing with its weird-looking head. Coelacanths are huge, bony, deep-sea fish. For a long time, scientists thought that all coelacanths were extinct. Like seriously, they thought they'd been dead for 66 million years. But then in 1938, one was caught off the coast of South Africa. This was a big deal, because it turned out that the coelacanth hadn't changed much since the last time it appeared in the fossil record. It still got the same small eyes, the same fleshy, scaly fins, the same tiny mouth with only a couple of teeth. There are only about 200 of these ancient fish left in the world. And if you want to see one for yourself, you should probably move to Indonesia. That's where the vast majority of them live. Now, you may be wondering why these guys haven't changed at all in over 60 million years. Some scientists think it has to do with their environment. Coelacanths live very deep underwater where there isn't much light, so they don't need good eyesight or the ability to capture elusive prey. So natural selection hasn't had much to work with. Others think that it's just by chance that they haven't changed more. After all, evolution doesn't always move in one direction. Sometimes it takes 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. And in the case of the coelacanth, it might have taken 66 million steps sideways. Our next living fossil also lives in the ocean, the horseshoe crab. These odd creatures look a bit like a mix between a turtle and a spider. Their shells are made of chitin, like the shell of a lobster, and they have a sort of tail that looks like a crab's tail. But they're actually more closely related to spiders than they are to crabs. They can grow to be almost a meter wide, and they've been around in basically that same shape for at least 450 million years. Yep, you heard that right. 450 million. At this rate, they'll be around to see the Earth's core. Horseshoe crabs have been around so long that they're sometimes called the dinosaurs of the sea. And they've seen a lot of weird stuff, like how the supercontinent Pangaea used to exist. Most of the world's horseshoe crabs live in the Atlantic Ocean, but a few species hang out in the Gulf of Mexico and China. But not all living fossils are sea creatures. Take the ginkgo biloba tree, for instance. You've probably heard of these trees before, but not by that name. See, ginkgo biloba trees are commonly planted along city streets. They're known for their fan-shaped leaves, which turn a brilliant gold in the fall. In the wild, though, they're pretty rare. The only native population is in China. Outside of China, they're considered a living fossil, but in China, they're just an endangered species. Like most living fossils, they've managed to survive for so long by staying in the same environment without changing much. Ginkgo trees are slow-growing, so they aren't changing quickly, but they seem to be doing okay. There are even ginkgo trees that are over 1,000 years old. So how many living fossils are there? Well, that depends on how you define the term. Scientists generally agree that any species that's been around for at least 1 million years and hasn't changed much is a living fossil. By that definition, there are hundreds of living fossils on Earth. The horseshoe crab definitely qualifies, but so do the Wallaby pine, the Amazonian frog, the lungfish, and even the platypus. But while we call these guys living fossils, it's important to remember that they are, in fact, still evolving. It's just that we haven't noticed the changes yet. But who knows? Maybe you'll be the first to notice a change in one of these so-called living fossils. If you are, make sure to let us know. We'll be watching. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. See you next time.